Hey everybody, told you in the last video that may have been the last day in shorts, and I'm probably right. The weather's coming in, the snow is coming in the neighborhood. But it's always awesome to be out, and today I'm out doing a strength running workout, and just a quick easy workout today, but very potent and something that you can do while you're out running. And that's the point of this video. It's a quick one today. We can accomplish everything we need to from potent strength running outside while we're running. And in the description below, I'm going to list a few workout videos that you can follow along and get some ideas of how you can achieve strength training while you're out running. Most of the equipment in the gym is just training our body to move slowly, and we want to do just the opposite. So check out the videos in the description, see some of the exercises, see some of the things that you can do while you're out on a run. Make it, maybe warm up, do the workout, be done, or sandwich these into a longer run. Maybe halfway through your run you're stopping and doing some of these drills, or along the way. Hey, the great thing about it is that it's very potent and what we should be doing as runners. Secondly, it can be fun and something, again, you can do all along your long run throughout the whole entire workout or run. So make it fun, get creative in your own way, and check it out. See ya. Okay, this first one's simple but complex. Simply running in place fairly fast with knees out in front of you, and then pausing on one leg. Here we go, slow motion. So the idea, nice quick feet, and then pause and hold and try to stick your balance. The key is to try to hold your balance without letting your body fall out of balance. So you'll know as you get better through time, make it nice and fast and stick it. Nice and fast, stick it without losing your balance. That pause is important. Really stick it without losing your balance. And again, get faster and faster through time, and that's how you know you're going to get better. This next one, we're just simply hopping or jumping forward with a little bit of height so we can have a little bit of a landing as well. So you want to go hop forward or jump forward with some height. The key here is we're not squatting. We're keeping our legs as stiff as possible and making them as quick as possible. Land and transition to jumping forward as quickly as you can. Use your arms like I am. This is a great core workout as well, but the key is we're not squatting. Notice how there's hardly any flex in my legs. We want kind of a natural run range of motion with our legs. And that's the problem with a lot of squatting exercises, that they don't mimic running. So again, here's slow motion. Notice how my legs stay relatively straight and there's just a slight bend at the knee as I hop or jump forward. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but that's key with all of these. We want to make them as quick as possible. Quick, get off the ground. That's what we're training. So that's where a little height comes in, where you're landing from the height, creating that eccentric work, and hopping forward. So again, we don't want a full squat. This is not a squat jump or a squat range of motion. Very short, very quick. As quick as you can. Get better through time. And here comes fast motion again. So kind of get some momentum. You can notice how I kind of get better as I go. It takes a little bit of momentum to get going. But again, a great core. Use your arms. They're important with running. They help you get momentum. Great core workout as well. One more time, just nice and quick. Hardly any bend in the knee.
Okay, this next one is just a variation off the last one. We're still doing that hop or jump forward, both legs, but we're adding a little bit of a pause. Right there's that isometric hold that we talked about. And that's why this exercise is really good, because we want to get a little bit of a pause before we jump forward. Here's slow motion, so I jump forward, land, and pause, stick it. The key is to be as rigid as you can. Be really stiff with your legs. Stick it. Just like a gymnast, stick it without any movement. Try not to land and get movement down in bending the legs into more of a squat. So stick it and be as sturdy as you can. Be as stiff as you can. It creates a better rubber band. Stick it. Stick it. No movement. No movement right there. Again, and going fast forward again. A little bit of a pause. Just a pause. Minimize any type of movement as you can. Okay, here are soldier marches. Hard to say. But what the key here is we want them as quick as possible, as powerful as possible, but with a stiff leg. Okay? So I'm keeping my legs straight, and I'm keeping the legs as stiff as possible so I can make my transition to the next step as quick as possible. Stiffness in the leg creates better speed, better power, more force, all the good stuff that we want to help us become better, faster, stronger, running well. I want you to realize how well you feel after doing a workout like this. Notice how all the little kinks maybe have been taken away, all the little aches and pains. So again, notice a nice stiff leg, nice and straight, sequencing my arms. And again, the key is we're trying to make the transition from landing to taking off as quick as possible. That's the isometric training that we're doing right now. Slap the ground and be as stiff as possible. Sequence those arms. Here's one more going fast again. Get nice and quick. One thing that'll help you to keep able to get your legs quicker, think about moving your arms quicker. Your arms mirror your legs. And if you move your arms quicker, your legs will probably follow. Here we're in kind of a split squat position, and I'm jumping up and landing on the opposite side. Again, notice now with this one I'm pausing. I'm jumping up, pause, and kind of sticking my balance. Okay, and again, we're not looking to get tons of range of motion here. Nice and controlled, maintain your balance. Here's slow motion. So up to the other side, I pause. That's that isometric training that we're getting. Okay, pause enough to have to force yourself to balance, and just like a 1, 2, 3 count, and then back to the other side. Up and over, stick it. Again, just like a dancer or gymnast. Here we go again. I'm sticking it, nice and controlled. We don't want to make this a circuit where we're not getting a lot of rest in between each exercise. Get enough rest after each one of these drills so you're able to perform. Doing circuits for time is just not the way to go. We want to be able to perform. Okay, same position, but now we're scissoring back and forth with no pause. And again, nice rigid leg, very stiff with the leg, and I'm trying to move as fast as I can back and forth, reducing my contact time. So again, you can see there's not a whole lot of range of motion with each front leg. Okay, we're not going down into a lunge position, which we'll show in a minute. Okay, I'm just making them nice and quick, making that transition from one leg to the other as quick as possible. That's what we're training. Again, we're training ground contact time. We don't want to spend a lot of time on the ground. So make them as quick as you can. Here's what we don't want. Okay, we don't want this big range of motion. See the difference there? This is kind of a normal split squat or a lunge type of thing. We don't want that huge range of motion into the deep squat. Okay, that's not running functional. We never get that much range of motion when we're running. And that just adds to your ground contact time, which we're wanting to avoid. So that's why we want them nice and quick, not a lot of flexion. Now we're just taking the scissors motion, same thing as before, and just moving forward. Making it nice and quick, sequencing my arms, that's important. And just kind of moving forward as you're scissoring the legs back and forth. So nice quick feet. Again, with the slow motion, you can see how I'm keeping my legs nice and stiff with not a ton of range of motion. Okay, that's where we are when we're running, right there. That's the part that we need to train to become stronger, quicker, reducing our ground contact time, increasing our cadence, increasing our strength, increasing our speed. It all goes into the package of how we want to be as runners. One more, nice and quick. Again, you don't want to go so quick that you're throwing yourself off balance. Through mastery, you just get better through time. You're not going to be good at this right from the beginning. Okay, now we're progressing to one leg. You can see how all this is a kind of a progression. Now I'm just balancing on one leg, same range of motion. I'm hopping up and sticking it. Stick it, down, hop up, stick it. Stick it. Again, notice I'm trying to stick it with not any movement while I'm holding that pause. That's the key. Hold it and stick it. Here's slow motion, boom, stick it, no movement. You don't want to get an up and down movement. As you stick it, right there, there's hardly any movement there. We want to make that right there, no deeper. Jump up and stick it. Jump up and stick it. The key is to get better through time so you don't throw yourself off balance. The balance here is the key. To be able to stick that leg without throwing yourself off balance and being stable is the holy grail for running. Because right now, all I am is running right now. This is what we're asking our body to do as we run, to stick it. Okay? And we're just holding it now to really train that ground contact time. And now we're just simply progressing to we're hopping forward with the stick. So again, I want to stick it in that same range of motion with that leg. Land and stick. Land it, kind of hold it as long as you can to be able to know you have your balance. I'm sticking it, knowing I have my balance before I take off again. Stick it, get my balance. There I know I have my balance. Get through better through time. Again, take off. Land, hardly any movement. Again, try to minimize any movement. That's why it's important to stick it long enough so you know you have your balance. And take off. And this is where the shoes come in. You know, I challenge you, put some really cushioned shoes on and try to do this. And notice how more difficult it is, in a bad way. Sometimes creating more challenge is good, but not with the cushioned shoes here, because now you're just going to absorb all that energy through the cushion of the shoe and the outsole and the midsole of the shoe. So feeling the ground there and being stiff, feeling your balance is really important. Sticking it, take off, stick. Good. And again, through time, you just want to minimize how much movement is while you're sticking that and holding that movement. Or holding that pause. And now I'm kind of going into more of a bound, but I still want to stick it. Okay, so I'm leaping from one leg to the next, sticking and holding it for that pause. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Again, we want this controlled and not so powerful so we can land, stick it, and hold our balance for that moment in time. Okay, so This is not a real super powerful movement. It's all about performing and maintaining your balance and stability. Again, just leap from one leg to the next. Again, I'm not getting super big range of motion, so I can maintain my control and perform these. Just a nice little pause to know you got your balance, and on to the next leg. Just get into a groove. And now progressing, eliminating the pause and a little bit more of a bound. Again, not super powerful because we want to make the transition now quick. When there's no pause, we want to make it as quick as possible. So I'm not looking necessarily to get a ton of range of motion as far as distance per stride. I'm looking to make my transition quick. And I'm actually jumping a little bit high to create more of an eccentric landing, to create more training with that eccentric part of the phase. So I'm jumping up a little bit, landing, and having to transfer over to the other leg. And that's what I want, is I want just a little bit of height rather than distance. Again, back to normal speed. Again, you can just kind of, from a bounding standpoint, they just look a little bit more controlled than a real powerful bound. They have their purpose. We'll get into that maybe over the summer, but this is a little bit more controlled. Again, notice I'm sequencing my arms. Super important to start training the brain to sequence arms and legs. Keeping my foot strike underneath me. Again, I'm not reaching with my foot to strike the ground. It's right underneath me. Finally, we're adding accelerations. These are very short, fast sprints. Forcing, the key here is that it's a short distance, so you're forced to really get up to speed very quickly, making, again, training that transfer from one leg to the next, the landing and a quick turnover. So it's not necessarily a sprint, but like an acceleration over a very short period of time, or a short distance, I should say. You can see this distance isn't very far. I'm just trying to build my speed to really quicken my transfer from one leg to the other. So that's why I call them accelerations. You're just kind of building your speed through 5, 6, 7 steps. Trying to get up to speed, making that transition from, again, one leg to the next as quick as possible. One more fast one, and then we'll get into noticing range of motion as I'm running versus our drills. So notice right here, that's my range of motion. That's the greatest range of motion I get while I'm running. And that mimics all our drills versus doing deep squats. Okay? All these drills are very functional because we're not getting that great range of motion as we run.